Mindfulness. Dr. Hendricks talked about a lot of things that went with mindfulness, and like I think everything that the class can take away from like her whole presentation was the quote that she said, "When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at begin to change." And so, I mean, I think she said that 2 or 3 times, and I wrote that down, and I think most people did because it's really powerful. And I've heard similar quotes like that, but that one is really like, it really stuck out. But, so what was something from the lecture that registered with me? I think that quote really registered, and she also said something about like, if you're breathing, there is more right with you than wrong with you. And I think a lot of times, obviously, we take for granted like that word, like alive. So I think she really like made all of us feel like really happy to even be like here, alive. And so she made it like really important for us to notice that it's really important for us to like be alive. I don't know where I'm going with this, but that's something I took away. And then another thing is like, she said intention, attention, and mindfulness acceptance. I think a lot of people think like they have like a lot of misconceptions about mindfulness, and I think her explaining the intention, attention, and the mindfulness acceptance really, it makes mindfulness make sense. And so like, because I didn't really know how to explain mindfulness before, she like said all of this in class, and the way she explained it really like opened up like a whole new level to like being mindful. And I guess moving on to the next question, is this something you will practice as finals approach? I don't think it's something that I would practice. Like, some things I already do practice, like just like taking 3 deep breaths, or like just calming yourself before you like take a big step into doing something. Or I don't know, like she had us practice like that that whole body approach where you tighten it and like let loose. I honestly do that not every night before I go to sleep, but a little bit. Like I spend like maybe like a minute or two, not like a whole maybe like 20 minutes that we did in class, but I spend like a minute or two like tightening up my muscles and relaxing. And so I just think it's a really good thing to do, not only as finals are approaching, but just like every night, because it really like makes you relax. It makes you notice the difference between being like stressed and like all hyped up instead of being like calm, and that's what you're supposed to be when you're trying to fall asleep. And so I think that's obviously something I'm gonna practice every night. And the stuff like she said, I am like blank, I am blank, I am blank like 3 times, and like writing it on the mirror, I think that's really powerful. I've heard of that like in the hospital. People like patients get down, and like nurses sometimes tell that to patients. I remember like a nurse telling that to me once, like when I was like 4 years old, and I don't know why I still remember that, but I think I still remember that because it's like really powerful. Like it's a really powerful thing to see as you're like writing it on the board, or writing it like she said on like your bathroom mirror or whatever. So that way you can like say it to yourself, know it, actually think that about yourself, and like move on with your day and start your day out with like a positive feeling. And that's one of the good ways that you can do so. So I think I can practice that, like telling myself things that will make me feel better about like the day and how it's gonna go. yeah, especially as finals are approaching. And then the last question, how can you help to encourage the mindfulness movement in today's society? I think that as a teacher, since, well, as a future educator, I think mindfulness is a good thing to practice in the classroom, knowing like it's not a religion, so I can do that. And like she explained to us after we like kind of practiced some meditation, she asked us to write about how we feel when we're most relaxed, and then how we feel when we get distracted, and then she had us write like a mind up on how we felt, or like how we're supposed to feel after practicing like mindfulness. And so like I think it's a good thing to like have your students practice that like before a test, before a lesson, or and just have them write things down, so that way they're not just thinking it, but they have it in front of them and they can look back at how they felt and how they're gradually like feeling over like practicing mindfulness for a long period of time. So yeah, that's one way I think that I can encourage mindfulness in today's society. And yeah, thank you for listening.